Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Adam Burke from BangTheBook.com coming to you with my Tuesday 3-pack, my favorite plays of the day for February 5th on a nice little 8-1 run with these. So hopefully we can keep that going. Obviously, small sample sizes, something you want to be very, very careful with in this business, but hopefully we stay on the right track here with the Tuesday 3-pack. Over at BangTheBook.com, lots of great stuff going on right now. Obviously, the Super Bowl in the rearview mirror, but we've got good stuff in the college basketball arena with Kyle Hunter. He's doing his daily college basketball piece and a weekly situational spots piece and videos here for us on our Bang the Book YouTube on Wednesdays and Fridays. Daily NHL picks from Parker Michaels. He's still doing a phenomenal job with those. Daily NBA picks from Alan Moody to go along with some college basketball and NBA first half plays. I've got a golf preview up for the Pebble Beach Open. We'll get a video here on our YouTube from Brian Blessing for that Pebble Beach Pro-Am coming up here this weekend as well. So lots of stuff going on in the sports world. You know, if you missed yesterday's video, I think some very important information regarding betting here in the month of February. Again, I think it's a tough month, but you want to look for different spots for motivation. I don't necessarily have any of those on my 3-pack card for today, but those are things that you want to be looking for over the course of the month. All right, so let's get into the Tuesday 3-pack here, my 3 favorite plays for February 5th. We start in the association in the NBA, game 547, 548. The Los Angeles Clippers on the road to take on the Charlotte Hornets. Hornets 3.5-point favorite, total 225.5 for this game. This is the 7th road game for the Clippers since January 20th. 3rd road game in 4 days here. They played in Detroit, had that furious comeback where they were actually down by 23 in the second quarter and down by 18 at halftime. Came back to win that game, got blown out in Toronto the next day on Super Bowl Sunday. Now they're down in Charlotte for this one. I think this is just a situation where you've got a Clippers team that's played a lot of road basketball here in a short amount of time, and they've made some significant road trips in that span as well. Their previous road trip had stops in Dallas and in Chicago. Now you've got them playing 3 teams in the Eastern time zone. It's been a lot on this team here. I know they have a lot of depth, but also it's been a lot of travel in a short period of time. We're in the dog days of winter. We're getting close to the All-Star break. So you got to kind of wonder here about the Clippers, how much they have in the tank. And furthermore, they've got a few more games on this road trip as well. When you look at the Hornets here, this is a team looking to go over 500 for the first time since being 16-15 on December 21st. They head out of town for a 4-game road trip. They'd love to have a winning record going out on the NBA highway here. The Clippers just 14-19 straight up since the start of December, and their offensive rating has been dropping in that span. So, while obviously we're talking about an ATS play here, the Clippers had a very, very good month of November. I believe they were 11-4 in the month of November. That kind of inflated and blew up their perception a little bit. Since then, they've been a below-average NBA team. They really haven't been all that good. For a 3rd road game in 4 nights, to only be a 3.5-point dog here, figure 2.5 points or so for home court advantage for Charlotte, maybe a point for the spot. And I also think Charlotte playing a lot better here overall than the Clippers. If you want to look at some statistical things for this game, Clippers 18th in turnover percentage on offense, 29th in turnover percentage on defense, so they're not forcing a lot of turnovers. They're a little bit below league average taking care of the basketball, whereas Charlotte, number 1 in the NBA at taking care of the basketball, 18th on defense, so not particularly good, but I do think the Hornets will have a few extra possessions in this game. They're the better team on the glass, and also should be getting Cody Zeller back for tonight's game. That'll help them on the interior as well. So game 547, 548. We'll take 548, the Charlotte Hornets, laying 3.5 tonight against the Los Angeles Clippers. We transition over to the college basketball side now for the last 2 plays of my Tuesday 3-pack. We start with game 621, 622. Valparaiso on the road against Illinois State. Illinois State 7.5-point favorite here. Total of 132 on this game. Was announced over the weekend that Ryan Fazekas will not be playing for Valpo again tonight. They've been really bad without him. He got hurt in the game against Bradley on January 8th. They did win that game, and everybody rallied to win the next game. And this is a betting angle you want to keep in mind. when a team loses its best player or one of its best players in that next game, they're generally a play-on team because you've got that rallying point. Everybody tries to do a little bit more. But then as you get further and further away from that injury, teams do tend to fall off quite a bit. That's been the case here with Valparaiso, who has dropped 5 of their last 6. And in their last 4 games here for Valpo, in terms of points per possession, 0.896, 0.823, 0.87, 0.815. So on the offensive end, they are just not playing good basketball right now at all. Fazekas was their best guy from an effective field goal percentage standpoint, one of their highest usage players as well. So it makes sense that they would struggle on the offensive end of the floor. Now, they have buttoned up defensively, but Illinois State, their last 3 games here, 1.21 points per possession, 1.095 points per possession, 1.055 points per possession, including a win over Loyola Chicago. And in their last 3 games defensively, the Redbirds just 0.987, 0.872, 0.925 points per possession allowed. Illinois State, 3rd in both adjusted defensive and offensive efficiency here in Mo Valley Conference play. I also like the under a little bit in this game, which, is kind of eye-opening because I do like Illinois State. Illinois State minus the 7.5 is the official play here for the video. And generally speaking, when you talk about favorites of this magnitude, Illinois State here, basically a 3-possession favorite in this game. When you think about that and you think about the under, obviously you generally don't want to lay too many points, but I just look at this Valparaiso offense. It's so bad right now. Good home court advantage for Illinois State. They're playing pretty good basketball, including that win over Loyola Chicago over the weekend. So, I just think that you've got an Illinois State team that'll play at a higher tempo. They'll push the pace. They'll look to take advantage of Valpo's weak offense. So while I do think this game stays under the total, I'm thinking this is something in the 68 to 55 type of range, 68 to 59 type of game, something like that, to where it does stay under the total, but you also get Illinois State to come in as the favorite. So the official pick in this game here, game 621, 622, is Illinois State minus the 7.5, but I do like the under a little bit in this one as well. One more game for the Tuesday 3-pack. We head out to the Mountain West Conference here. Game 641, 642. Utah State has been bet into a 1-point favorite, total of 141 on the road at Fresno State. First game between these two teams, 78 to 77. And when you look at the box score and break everything down for that game, both teams really played to their strengths. Utah State, 28th in the country in 2-point percentage offense, 2nd in the country in 2-point percentage defense. In that game, they were 19 of 29 from 2-point range, and Fresno was just 15 of 35. Fresno on the year, 154th in 2-point percentage defense, but 10th in 3-point percentage defense. So Fresno State defends the 3-point line well, but Utah State, very good on the interior. So that's what they did in that first meeting. So Utah State, playing to their strengths, playing to Fresno State's weakness, really did well inside the arc in that game. Now you look at this matchup tonight, and Fresno State, 53rd in the country in 3-point percentage offense. Utah State, 179th in the country in 3-point percentage defense. Fresno State shooting threes on 47.3% of their field goal attempts here in Mountain West play. They're holding opponents to 27.6% from 3, but allowing 52.4% from 2. Utah State here in Mountain West Conference play, 38.1% allowed from 3-point range. So here's what you've got in this game. You've got a Utah State team that's going to score on the interior, and they're going to be very effective with doing that. You've got a Fresno State team that's going to score from the exterior, hit a lot of 3-point shots here, should be effective doing that. I'm looking at the over 141 here, game 641, 642, Utah State and Fresno State. Now, of course, you might be asking yourself why I don't just take Fresno State if they're going to score in 3s as opposed to scoring in 2s, but obviously it's a little bit more, there's a higher variance factor when you talk about scoring from 3 as opposed to scoring from 2. So while maybe Fresno State is the slightest of leans from an ATS or even a money line standpoint here, I think both of these teams have offensive success with what they do well. I think because of the lower tempo of this game, we get a little bit of a deflated total, but I think both of these teams do have success with what they do well. So we'll take over 141 in the game between Utah State and Fresno State. So my 3 plays here tonight for the Tuesday 3-pack. Hornets in the NBA minus 3.5. That's game 548. Illinois State, game 622 in college basketball, minus 7.5. Then finally, game 641, 642, Utah State and Fresno State over the total. I'm Adam Burke from BangTheBook.com.